So everybody try to tell me what a prism is.
Shape.
Excellent. It is indeed a shape. Can we add more to that definition? What kind of shape is it, Elijah? Two-dimensional, three-dimensional? Three-dimensional. Excellent. So it's got 3 dimensions. Good. So you've already made it better than just calling it a shape. Nice. What else is it? Remember, I started with a rectangle, and what did I do with that rectangle? I stacked it up, right? What if I started with no, just wait. What if I started with an octagon? Could I stack that?
Yeah.
Would I get a prism? Yeah. What if I started with a triangle? Could I stack that?
Yeah.
And what would I get? A triangular prism, a Toblerone bar, wouldn't I? Is everybody with me? So a prism must be a 3D object that consists of a repeated 2D, and I'm going to use the fancy math word for shape, polygon. What do I mean by that? Any shape I start with, if I repeat it over and over and over again, I build a prism. Now, when I do this example, I am stacking it upwards, aren't I? Which makes you want to call this the height. Does everyone agree? Yeah. What if I stack it this way towards Elijah? Is it the same thing? Yeah. I'm still making a prism. The only reason we like to call this the height is because of why? It's going up on the page. But is it really going up? No. The direction that you repeat is the height. Does everyone agree? All right. So, 3D object consists of a repeated 2D polygon. Now, I want to call your attention to this. The repeated polygon is what we call the base shape. And we call it the base shape because it's the starting shape, not because it's on the bottom. Does everybody understand? And I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. I just talked about a fancy Swiss chocolate bar. Do you all know the chocolate bar, the Toblerone chocolate bar?
Yes.
The row of triangles of chocolate, right?
Yeah. That's a rectangle. No, triangle.
It's a triangular prism because it starts as a triangle and that triangle repeats. Does everyone agree? Now, if I were to hand you a Toblerone bar, you would probably put it down flat with the triangle up like this, yes? Which would make the base down here, what's sitting on the ground, small b base, right? Because it's sitting on the ground. That kind of base is the bottom. What is the base shape of the Toblerone bar? The triangle, because it's the triangle that repeats. Does everyone understand? That's a big problem with this unit. We use the word base all throughout the unit, and it means a lot of different things. Sometimes it means the bottom. Sometimes it means the shape from which you are starting. Does everybody understand the difference? Okay. Right now, what would you say is the base of my body? My feet, because they're on the bottom. Agreed? All right. Now, if you were to build a box that would hold me in, it would need to be a big enough rectangle to go around my body, yes? And right now, just like a coffin. And right now, if the coffin is standing up, the base is down there. Agreed? So you would measure a rectangle big enough to go around me and then repeat that rectangle all the way up, yes? If I lie down,
the base becomes whichever way is...
I could still do a rectangle around me and repeat it this way, couldn't I? Or I could do a rectangle around myself on the ground and repeat it up. But the base is just where it stands. But the base shape is the shape that repeats. Is everybody good with that? Everyone's cool? Okay, so let's draw one or two of these. We start with the base shape, right? The easiest one's just a rectangle or a cube. So just draw a square or a rectangle. Now, if it's going to repeat, I got to have another one back here, don't I? Right? And then they're just connected. I'm going to use my highlighter to say that is the base shape. Everybody with me?
Does that mean a cube is a perfect prism?
A cube is a perfect, well, no, it's a perfect rectangular prism. What if I have a triangle like a Toblerone bar? There's the triangle. And it's going to repeat backwards. Kind of like a wedge of cheese as well, right? Everybody cool? Okay. What about this one? Can I repeat a circle? And what do I get? A cylinder or a tube, right? Because I started with a circle and I go straight backwards. Is everybody cool with prisms? Everybody good? And it doesn't matter what the shape is. I can have an octagon. I can have a nonagon. I can have a
nonagon.
A nonagon is a 9-sided figure.
Oh.
I can have a dodecahedron, which is a 12-sided figure.
That just sounds like a really fun word.
Okay. Is everybody cool?
Can you say that word again?
Dodecahedron.
That's just really fun to say.
Everybody's good with prisms, yeah? Okay. The other shape that we deal with are pyramids. Now, you guys have all seen pictures of the pyramids. How is a pyramid and a prism similar? What's the same? Pardon me? What is the same about a prism and a pyramid? Think about it. We've drawn a prism right here, and you know what a pyramid looks like. You can see them. They're both 3D. Awesome. What else? They both start from a shape, right? A pyramid on the ground at the bottom has a shape, usually a square or a rectangle, right? Okay, what's different? They build up. That shape repeats, doesn't it? Now, in a prism, Mason, the shape repeats and doesn't change. What happens in a pyramid? It shrinks. To what value? Smaller, 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 till when? Till it disappears. Everybody with me? And it has to keep shrinking. Is this a pyramid? I start with a rectangle. I shrink, 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 shrink. Then I go big. And then I shrink. That's not a pyramid. That's a Christmas tree, right? The way we draw it. It's got to continue to shrink to what? Nothing. So what's our definition there? It's a 3D object that consists of a shrinking repeated 2D polygon. Now, I want to take a moment with this. It has the same base shape and base bottom issues as a prism. I want to show you guys a picture of something, and I have to push